I'm going to talk about the Bible. You know, and I hope Bible thumpers see this video and can hear me out, because some of you have no idea. You know, a lot of you folks don't understand, like, you're supposed to be a teacher, somebody who helps decode it, who mentors, spirit guide, oracle, all those types of things. Sometimes I question if y'all even know who the Most High is. The Most High doesn't need everybody to be an electrician. Could you imagine trying to build a house? I'm going to give you an example, because in my own personal life, when it comes to the books, it's been the hardest challenge besides growing up with my father. Honestly, it's been the hardest challenge. I was in intensive reading ever since I was in 6th grade all the way up till 12th grade. Never passed the FCAT in Florida. And at 12th grade, my senior year, I'm being told, hey, you might not be able to graduate because you failed the FCAT again. And if you take the ACT or whatever it was for college, if you pass that, you'll graduate. And so I did that, and it was a completely different setup, a completely different storylines. It was just different, and I passed it, no problem the first time. And somebody like me, who has had, I can honestly say, like, that's probably like, when it comes to worldly stuff, my father, and when it comes to the books. So much so, when I was younger, growing up, it was like always a joke, because I would always tell my sibling, she took book smart at first birth. And when it came to street smart, when it came to being intuitive, when it came to, doing things with your hands and being a hands-on type of person, and I have a very hyperactive mind. I mean, my mind doesn't stop. There's a lot more to other personalities out here besides being one that can be in tune to pages filled with words on it. Because for somebody like me, that's how I look at it. I've read probably 2 books in my whole life, and I believe it was called The Child Called It and The Lost Boy, about a boy being abused, being put in ovens, and all this crazy stuff, to where it actually grabbed my mind. I was actually able to, imagine what I was reading. And I remember physically reading this book on my way to softball practice and everything. And if you knew anything about me, that was not me. Even my dad would look at me like, you must really like that book. And I'm like, yeah. And I was just, because it intrigued me in such a way where I was able to actually digest the information of what I was reading. But see, I intake information completely different than you. You can go read a book and get all these downloads and this, that, and the third. Me, I can read the same book and be lost and confused. But you can break it down for me, and I can get, yeah. There's people that are supposed to be the decoders of the Bible. There's all different ways that this whole spirit realm and all of this works. Just like I said with the electrician. The Most High doesn't need everybody to be an electrician. Where's the plumber? Where's the roofer? Where's the concrete? We need a welder. Who's building the furniture? What about the stuff we need in the kitchen just so you can eat at night? All the aspects of just making a house. That's the same concept when it comes to the way the Most High works. He don't need everybody operating the same. Because the information you download from that book and that you turn around and teach or turn around and help be a guide for, somebody like me can download that information and receive a revelation. And so when it comes to this Bible, in society, we have come so far off that it's, do you know the Bible? Do you know the God? Or do you know the Most High and the Spirit? Because I can tell you for certain, for 100% certainty that that I won't say most of you, that a lot of folks know the book. And some of them don't even know how to decode the book. They take it so literally, they don't even understand Jesus Christ's walk. They don't even understand what he stands for, so much so you got pastors and preachers and whatnot saying astrology this is not good and all these other things. Okay, what makes up your body? What makes you be a man? What makes you be a woman? What makes you think the Most High ain't going to do the same thing to make a universe, to make a galaxy, to make a star system, and all these beautiful things that are beyond your human flesh's understanding? You have an arm, you have an eyeball, you have hair, you have feet, you have toes, you have a butt, you have body parts to release things. What do you think the Most High is going to do when he creates? You think he's not smart enough to have some astrology and have some connections to it all? Oh, I forgot. Like, you don't understand the energy concept behind it all. You don't really understand the depths of it all. You don't understand the systems. And that's what blows my mind too. Some people that will push a Bible won't even push astrology. They say zodiacs and all that is a lie and blah, 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 blah. I mean, that just, when I hear that, it's almost like somebody saying the Most High is so stupid that all he did was make it so plain Jane. Sorry if that offends anybody using that name. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are you kidding? When it comes to astrology, I couldn't even understand my father. And I was guided to look up what his Gemini zodiac sign is. And if you understand anything about a Gemini and the twin mindset, boy, at like 15 years old, 16 years old, I was like, holy cow, I get it now. And I'm an Aquarius. And this was like when I was a little teenager. When I was a young teenager, astrology already, me being guided to even open up that door. And it wasn't just like, oh, somebody told me and did this and did that. No. I was intuitively already being guided because I was asking why the relationship was with my father the way it is and the way it was. And once I understood the simplicity of just natural characteristics that come from those zodiacs, I was like, whoa. Okay, this is making sense. A little too much sense. And now I'm 32 years old, and my own personal experiences that have nothing to do with the book, but being guided by the Most High with all this information that comes to me from folks like you that do read the book, that do get intuitive messages and so forth, oracles as such. I can come across 10 different videos, and boy, oh boy, am I just like connecting dots. You know what I'm saying? Because I've already received downloads, information. I've already asked questions as to this, that, and the third. And as time passes, those questions and all those things receive answers. But there's folks like you that need to read the book, that can decipher it better than somebody like me that can read the book. And I can decipher spirit, I can decipher energy, and I can decipher, but just because I'm not on the book level, and you think that I have to be on the book level to be intelligent, to have wisdom, or to have knowledge, that's where human society has gone so far off. It's absolutely incredible. But like, for me, it's like beautiful at the same time. Because I just be, like I said, the way I absorb information is quite interesting. I'll just keep it that way. And to sum up, what I'm saying is exactly, what I'm saying. It's so interesting how I can download information just off of you and the knowledge you gain from a book. And I probably couldn't have even got the knowledge you gained off that book if I tried. Do you get it? But that's why each one of us has such an important role to build that house. We don't need everybody to be an electrician. The world would be very boring. And we would get nowhere. We wouldn't advance in society. And the physicality of this world is not advancing. But when it comes to the book, think about the way you want to approach people when it comes to it. Because you can come across somebody like me that can receive the biggest revelation or download just from a couple words you might say. And you might not even understand that just because you understand that book. But I understand that folks like you are important. And help people like me. Because at 32 years old, it's been a long journey. And I've been more focused on the spirit side than the world side, I can say. I haven't let this world consume me like that. And it's been very hard and difficult being so in the spirit and not being understood. And it seems to me, from my own personal experiences, the ones that are in that book so hard are sometimes the ones I feel the worst energy off of. If I can say it that way. I can say it harsh, I can be harsh with it, but it's not always the best energy that's given off. And for somebody like me that can feel energy, you can read a book very well or digest the information better than I can. But how well do you know energy? How well can you feel energy? Because somebody like me can. And it's just a food for thought. I feel like that's where we've gotten so far off track. Just because you can do it don't mean I can. Just because I can do it don't mean you can. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. We need everybody. It all happens for a reason. We're all here for a reason. And when it comes to energy and frequency, we're all connected. So, think about it. Peace and love.